And in your W drive, you guys might already have a web design folder. If so, you can go ahead and put it inside the web design folder. If you want to create a separate one for semester 2, however you like to organize your files, that's totally up to you. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 folders because there's going to be 2 websites that we're going to be working on, okay, for most of the part of DreamWeaver here. Every time that I do a demo with you guys, we're going to be working on the website called the Striped Umbrella. So in your W drive, I need you to create a folder, and I need you to name it the Striped Umbrella. Okay, so we're going to be putting all of our...
On the last day of school, they blocked me out before I got back in. And so I had to drive all the way back to my house. I was like, okay.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so in our W drive, we have a folder called the Striped Umbrella. All right, now, whenever you guys are working on things on your own that will actually be graded, we're going to have another folder that we've created. It's not going to be inside the Striped Umbrella. It's going to be its own separate folder. Okay, and we're going to name it Trip Smart. So for all of the DreamWeaver section, okay, we're going to be working in one of those folders. When we do the demo, we'll always be working in the Striped Umbrella. When we're working on Trip Smart, when you guys are doing individual projects at the end of the chapter, you'll be working in Trip Smart. Okay, so it's super important to keep your files managed because DreamWeaver, kind of like it's a stickler for making you create an external style sheet. It's pretty much a stickler about all of your files that go with a particular website need to be together. Otherwise, it has a bunch of broken links, and then you guys won't be able to view pictures. Links will be broken. Once we get to navigation bars and you create navigation bars, those will be all crazy and all of that. So you just kind of have to get it in your mindset that everything that goes on the Striped Umbrella website needs to be in that folder. Everything that's on the Trip Smart website needs to be in the Trip Smart folder. Okay? Easy enough. Okay, it's just kind of file management things. Since we're talking about file management, let's go ahead and go out to Moodle and grab the files that we're going to need for this first part. If you go to our web design section, there should be a DreamWeaver Chapter 1 data files folder. Okay, let's see. We need to download the DW1_1 HTML file. We need to download the pool JPEG. I'm looking here. I think that's it, but let me just double check. Let's go ahead and download DW1_2, the HTML file. And let's do the SU banner. And then I think that does it. Yep, that does it. Okay, so we should have 4 files. The DW1_1 HTML file, the pool JPEG, the SU banner GIF file, and the DW1_2 HTML file. Okay, those are the ones we need to download. All right, once we've got those downloaded, let's go ahead and copy those 4 files over to your striped umbrella folder. Okay, so our striped umbrella folder on our W drive, once we do that, should have those 4 files in it. Okay, here's something else you're going to see DreamWeaver do. It's up to you whether you want to do this as well. Okay, I'm not going to tell you you have to. Because a lot of times I don't even like doing it. I just want you to be able to realize what it is that they are trying to get at. DreamWeaver, when it does this automatically, like we're doing all this manually ourselves. Okay, when DreamWeaver does this itself, it creates a folder called Assets, and that's where it puts all of the images. If you want to create a folder that's called Images and put all of your images inside of that for the striped umbrella, you could do that. Or you can keep everything out just under the striped umbrella folder. Okay, that's basically up to you as far as how you want to organize it. But you will see it a lot in the book, and that's why I just wanted to point it out, that they'll have an assets folder, and if I don't say something, you guys will be like, what's the assets folder for? Okay, so it automatically puts images in there when it sets up a website on its own. Okay, we're doing all this manually ourselves, so we can set it up how we want. Okay, any problems or questions up to that point? Everybody get your files over okay? All right, let's go back to DreamWeaver. Okay, the opening screen looks a lot different than, you know, a lot of programs that you work with. The nice thing is about Adobe that most software, the opening screen is similar. I won't say it's exactly the same, but the way that they have it laid out is typically very similar. Okay, so if I go from DreamWeaver to Photoshop, for example, it's pretty easy for me to find the panels that I need to work with, the menus, the toolbars, and all of that, because it's all generally laid out the same way. Okay, so this opening window, you have different things that you can do. You can open a recent file, or you can create a, excuse me, a new file. Just because I want to show you a couple things, let's go ahead and tell it create new HTML. The SU for striped umbrella. Okay, so when we start a new document, okay, a couple things I want to point out just as far as layout and where to find things. You guys have a menu bar going across the top, okay, where you can access a lot of different things that you will need to do. You also have a toolbar down in this section here that I'm circling. I have an additional toolbar pulled up just because I like the insert toolbar. If you want the insert toolbar, if you go to Window, insert is the very first one on the list. It just has a lot of things that we do where you can just kind of click and press a button instead of having to go to the menu and find it. So that's why I dock it up here at the top. It says like common layout forms, and it has buttons that correspond with that. Okay, but that's completely up to you. And as time goes on, you might decide you want to use it as well. And I'll keep reminding you how to access that. All right, over on the right-hand side of your screen, you have different panels that let you access a lot of different things. Mainly what you're going to be working on those side panels is you're going to be pulling up all of your files that are in striped umbrella so that you can see them. And you will be using your style sheet from the panels section as well. Those will probably be the two most used panels that you have open over on the right hand side. To open or close panels on that right side, if you go to Window, I would for right now have a check mark beside CSS styles, and I would have a check mark beside files because those are the ones that you're going to be using the most frequent. If there are others checked that you do not want to appear on the side, you click it, it de-checks it or deselects it, and then it goes away from the panel section there on the right hand side. Yes. Window on the menu bar. Okay, then that basically leaves our workspace area. Okay, that whole white section is where we can build our website, okay, or our web pages a page at a time. Notice we do have a property bar at the bottom. Those properties apply to your page. Notice you have two different views under that property section at the bottom. You have an HTML, so if you click HTML, that's going to show you some tools like bold, italics, bulleted list. If you click the button that says CSS, okay, you're going to notice where you have fonts that you can set up, sizes, and so forth. Okay, we'll stick in the HTML view for right now. It's going to be a little bit before we get right into the CSS styles. Something else that I want you to notice, your little tab right now that has this particular page open says Untitled 1. Underneath that, you've got a code button and a split button. Right now, you are in design view. If you go to code view, okay, it's still writing the code. Okay, you can't create a web page in HTML even if you're using a software program like DreamWeaver. Okay, it's creating the HTML code for you instead of you having to create it. So a lot of this you should recognize and be familiar with because a lot of these are tags that we did all of the time last semester. Okay, like our head tag, title, body, HTML, doc type, and so forth. If you go to the split view, it's going to split your window in between looking at the code, so you can watch it build the code as you are working in design view, or you can just be in design view where it's basically WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Okay, so whatever I drag and drop on there, I see it at that point. You also have a browse button, so it's the little globe. It's got a little arrow beside of it. Does it give you options on the different browsers that you can choose? When you pull the little, yay. I thought at least with DreamWeaver it did that, whereas TextPad it always opened it up in horrible Microsoft internet garbage, whatever they call it now. Okay, so at least now you have the option of previewing your pages in Firefox or in Chrome. Okay, because you still will want to preview them to make sure that, you know, they look the same in the browser as they do as you're designing them. Now, there's also a live button that to some extent is supposed to do that. I really don't trust that live button. There's been too many times I've used it, and then when I pull it up in the actual browser, it looks different than what the live button has showed me. So I don't really trust the live button, so I hardly ever use it. Okay, so that's basically the layout. That's where you're going to find all of the tools that you need, all the panels, the menus, the properties for your pages are at the bottom. Any questions on any of that, maybe that you couldn't find, didn't see? All right, so let's get into what you're going to have to do every day whenever you come in here, okay? Because on the PowerPoint that I always have whenever we start class, I'm going to put up there, manage the Trip Smart site or manage the striped umbrella site. So my expectation is when you get in here, you start the management process. That way when the bell rings, we can get started. Okay? Not you start the management process because it's kind of time consuming. The first few times we do this, I will walk through it with you, and then I will not walk through it with you any longer. Okay? Because you need to learn how to do this on your own. All right. So we've already created the folders. We've already got striped umbrella and we already have files in it. So let's pull that up. Right now you should have the files panel over on the right hand side. Everybody see that? Keaton, are you following along? Well, you need to be doing. Okay. You have a little pull down list underneath that files panel that says manage sites. So you need to click on where it says Manage Sites. And then we're going to click the button that says New Site. So in the Files panel, the first pull-down list, and when I say Files panel, I don't mean the file menu at the top. I mean the panel over on the right-hand side. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So it wants to know the site name. Well, it's the striped umbrella. So we need to type that in the first box, the striped umbrella. And then the next thing it's asking us is, okay, where do I go find the striped umbrella website? So I hit the folder icon. And I click on the folder and I take it to my W drive and tell it where the striped umbrella folder can be located. Okay, and then once I find where it's located, I hit save and then done. Now in my files panel over here on the right hand side, what I'm circling, okay, it should have a folder that says site, the striped umbrella, and then it should have those 4 files that I've already copied and pasted over there. Now you guys might think this is a pain. Okay, but whenever you see how easy it is to start dragging and dropping things and dragging and pointing to make links from this file panel, you're going to think it's well worth kind of the headache at first of getting used to doing this. So everybody got that? So over here on the right hand side in the Files panel, it should say Site, the striped umbrella, and then it should have those 4 files that we copied over and put in there. Anyone have problems with that? Okay, So the first file that I want to open up is the DW1_1 HTML file. So from the Files panel, I'm just going to double click that, and it's going to open it up for me. So let's do that so you can see what that looks like. Plus there's going to be some things that you need to fix. All right, the two things that are not showing up because we drug this DW1_1 file from Moodle. Okay, so when I click on, let's just click on the very top where the banner should be. Here's what I want you guys to notice. When I click on that, down here in my panels file, I have the source. Notice it's trying to pull it from the assets folder that is in Moodle. Okay, because Moodle's trying to pull this up the same way that the TripSmart was kind of set up. I can easily fix that. I want you guys to watch me first, and then I want you to do this, okay? Because this is just too easy for you to miss. Okay, I already have my banner saved over here in my Files panel, right? And I'm sorry that it's so small and I can't make it bigger. But I have my SU banner right here, okay? That's what I want right here. Currently, my source down here at the bottom, and I'm trying to circle this stuff so you guys can see it, there's a little pointer icon beside of that, and if I hover over it, it says point to file. Is everybody paying attention? Because I'm telling you guys, this is so easy, and if you miss this and then you do stuff the long and hard way, then you have nobody but yourself to blame. Okay, I'm clicking on that point to file, and then I'm telling it, I'm pointing to the SU banner. And boom, the banner pops up. Okay, so I can do the same thing for the pool image. I select the pool image. I come down to the property bar where I have the source. I click on that little point to file icon, and then I select pool. Okay, so do those two things so that you actually have the banner and you have the pool. Everything within each page needs to pull from your striped umbrella website that you have managed over here in your Files panel. Okay, and if you throw everything over there first, it's as easy as pointing to, or if the pictures weren't already on there, I could have literally just dragged and dropped them over. Okay, so I'll give everybody time to get caught up to do that. So you get practice using that point to file.
Can I like undo it, try dragging and dropping it?
Just, you don't have to undo, just delete the picture out. Just select it and press delete on your keyboard and then drag and drop it over.
That did not do good.
Well, did you have the picture?
Yeah, the big gray spot went away.
Well, hit Control Z. All right, now select the picture. Make sure the picture is what's selected. The actual picture on the page.
That's what I'm trying to click on. It's like going around the picture.
Okay, everybody get that to work all right? Okay, this page, I believe, is our home page. So let's rename it. So let's go to File, Save As, and let's name it Index, because Index is typically the name of the home page. And we want to make sure that it's saved, obviously, in our striped umbrella folder. And then I can delete out that DW1_1 file. Okay. So now I should have index.html listed in my files panel. And if I select the icon next to DW1_1, then all I have to do is press delete, and it will make that file that I copied over at the beginning, it'll make that go away. Okay. All right, for DW1_2, let's go ahead and open that one up. Same problem, right? At the top, the banner needs to be pulling from my striped umbrella. So I'm going to select it. Down in the source box, I'm going to click the .2 file and then point and select my banner. And then I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this as home for right now because it kind of teeters back and forth between which one's going to be the home page. We'll get into that as we kind of progress here. One's going to end up actually being the final home page. And then I can delete out that DW1_2 file. So now I should have a home.html, an index.html, and still my two pictures, my banner and my pool. Okay, we know that eventually there is going to be more pages to this website. Excuse me. So we can go ahead and kind of build the structure of our website, and then as we go along here, we will just be adding to those pages and creating those pages. If you guys turn to page 1-3, wait, it's 1-32 and 1-33 in your books, just because it's going to be easier to see it. I went through everything else in the book, but I basically have it memorized, and so I just did it in my own style. So 1-32 and 1-33. We're going to go ahead and create the files that are going to be the rest of the website. So over in my files panel in the white area, if I right mouse click, okay, I got to make sure that I have Cite the striped umbrella selected, that little folder icon at the top. Make sure I have that selected first. Then if I right mouse click, I have new file. Okay, so if I choose new file, another page that I know I'm going to have is About Us. So I can type that in and press enter. Go back to new file again. I'm going to have an activities page, so I'm going to type in activities and hit return or enter. Every time you need to make sure the Cite folder up here at the top is selected, and then right mouse click to get new file. We're going to have a cafe page. A cruises page. A fishing page. And a spa page. Well, by the time we get done, we're actually going to have an activities we're going to have a navigation bar that under activities, fishing and hunting are submenus off of the activities page. but that's going to be a little bit before we get to that point.
What was the last one?
Spa. Okay, so we added About Us, Activities, Cafe, Cruises, Fishing, Index, and Spa.
What about the gift shop and the accommodations one? We don't do those.
Okay, any questions or problems getting those files created? If I double click on any of them, right now they're just blank pages, obviously. Okay, but as time goes on and as we go through each chapter and I demo each chapter, we're going to be building this website, the Striped Umbrella. Okay, on your own, for the end of the chapter, things that you're going to get graded on, you guys are individually going to be building the TripSmart website. Okay. So tomorrow, the first thing that you need to do when you get in here is open up DreamWeaver and manage the Striped Umbrella website. Okay. So that you have, well, actually, you'll be managing the TripSmart website because we pretty much went through everything in chapter 1. Yep, we did. Okay. So tomorrow, you're going to be going out and grabbing the files for TripSmart that you need, putting them into the TripSmart folder, managing the TripSmart site, and then you'll be doing Project Builder 1 at the end of the chapter that has you kind of go through the same types of things that we went through with the Striped Umbrella. You will be doing that with the TripSmart site. Okay? Any questions about anything we went over today? Okay, you can close out a DreamWeaver. Please make sure you put the books up neatly. Make sure any pages, okay, are still intact and in the right place. Mm-hmm.
Do you know if C3PO is in?
Persons. R2D2 is in here. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That cost me moonies. I just watched it in your pocket. No, it's not. It's in your pocket. This did. It doesn't matter if it's just switch it before you don't. Yeah, that's your right. That's your right hand. That's your left hand. I said your left. See, now it's in your right hand. Now it's in your left. Now it's in your right hand. That's your left hand. And now it's in this head. My AirPod.
I mean, the library is in
What?
Oof.
Okay.
We could have bought it for the Twitter that was made in Taiwan. Well, in V5, with side to side. Don't understand. Sorry. So, like, I hear recorded backwards. Starting, your camera starts out.
Look at my coffee.
That's how it works. Well, without WebGL, this is X, this is Y. Without WebGL, if you remove the 3D aspect, this is X, this is Y. Added 3D axis, this is Z. Makes sense. It's a 3D rendering library for browser. And Z is forwards, backwards. Starting out, but you can translate and change that and rotate and change that. So essentially, what you could do is rotate Y, pi to pi. You could, I suppose, but it would be much easier for you to just swap out your x and your y values. I mean your x and y values.
The Y. She was in between 70 and
Oh, so not, yeah.
I think it's
I have a variable called Camden.
I wouldn't even think that. What if it was both up to?
That's actually so
I go to
just sucks. Instead, I would I would translate in a negative direction that you know of. And if you're trying to create a canvas maneuvering system, is that what you're trying to do? I have a great function for you. So if you feel like, dude, yeah. Then do I have a function for you? This is yeah.
It's like 1 second. Yeah. Max.
I got a box. They'll deliver it to like You're in an old house? No, I just saw you today. I'm not saying I don't like it.
But I don't even have. I have.
Dude, come on. No, not first guy.
That is my favorite.
Oh, they're trusted.
Like, it's my favorite. Dominant close set.
I was actually just thinking about this. We had to show the specific.
I like that.
Okay.
Okay, I like Dawn.
Dawn is good.
That's your market.
I'm not
I have reason to this. It's the angle between.
I literally, I know it's.
As long as you don't want vertical. As long as you don't want vertical,
Yeah, pizza pie though. Really? I just have a 6700.
It's easy. I like angles. Sophomore year, not a sophomore year folder calculation. So you would say something like bar angle. Starting angle and then.
Oh, well, actually, I did that for like this semester. That's what they were picking. Which is so much better. Docs is amazing.
Anyway, so then you would make the thing out of that. If left is pressed, you do the angle, but the angle is arbitrary.
How was your break? It was good. How about you?
It was okay.
Why?
Yours better than here, so.
Not if you have to be at home.
I enjoy being at home.
now.
I don't. I have to deal with the people at my house. We'll just put it like that.
So me and Colin went to Micro Center over the winter break. That was being 3D printed on one of the printers. Yeah, it was awesome. And it was too tall. The 3D printer couldn't even finish it.
Oh my
I was this close. In my head, I was like, I could steal this. I was like, I should just take
That's
it.
so detailed.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Do you have did the business department create a sheet about, did my dad talk to you about that? About how they came up with,
That's awesome.
Did you beat Hensley?
No.
Wow.
He actually bowled well.
For once?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Mr. Nance told me what he bowled. I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I think my high game was like a 158.
Yeah, Nance was like, I bowled a 206, and then immediately I was just like,
Yeah. It's like they came out of the woodwork. I mean, it was ridiculous. Crazy.
the social studies department made one too. Isn't this ridiculous that this has to be done?
It's the shirt and the conditioner that I use.
hey, Jay.
Exactly what it is. Conditioner makes my hair shiny, and if I were wearing a bright shirt, my hair would be slick.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. But this also means I need to start carrying my AP Physics book around everywhere, which is kind of annoying. The social studies department has one too. Also,
Of course they do.
Mrs.
Because your
Birdie
dad
makes,
and Mr. Bradburner attached to the hip.
yeah, but Mrs. Birdie actually, like, I had an aneurysm in there today. I was like, like we sat there for 10 minutes at the beginning of class and we hadn't done anything, and I was like, I'm gonna, like, have a nervous breakdown. Oh, that was. But then, at the same time, I didn't have a quiz today, which I would have had if I was an A-push. So, also we had to write down our grade for first semester in social studies, and I was like, kind of don't want to do this. I'm going to make a note that I was an A-push because I know I have a low grade. Not good. Also, my class rank dropped 2. My GPA dropped 0.5, or 0.05. Because it's so mad. Also, I'm so mad that my class is so competitive. I'm not going to be in the top 10 because our class is that competitive. I have a 4.232 and I'm 17th. It makes me want to die inside. That's crazy. I know! I look dumb. Like when Mr. Nance looks at my class, like I asked him to look at it and like I'm 17th, but I still have an over a 4.2.
That's crazy.
I had a 4
He
point.
said learning new
I had
information. I said,
I had a 4. No. Oh my gosh, I have a 4.3. I had a 4.228, and I was 15, and now I have a 4.32 or 4.232, and I am 17. If that doesn't tell you that how ridiculous my grade is,
that's crazy.
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, you guys need to take a seat, please.
I would be like, I'd be in the top 10. So your class.
Cameron, where are you supposed to be?
Mr. Wiley.
The
I was supposed to be yeah, and then I get in there and he's like, oh, I don't have a first period this week. I'm just like, front office, I got there and she was like, there's literally not enough people in first period basically, so either counseling office or front office.
A lot of people feel like a lot of like junior teachers are getting burned.
Yeah, Scott came into my class and got me.
My dad, my brother TJ, like, Scott knocked me after he
Scott leaves and comes back with me and all I said.
The screen was over a little bit. So, but it worked besides that.
What?
Whoa, what's happening to your screen up there?
It's going crazy.
Yeah? I would say so. How was your day then?
Not too bad.
Good.
A little stressful.
Already?
Yeah. Somehow the radio station worked just fine all 2 weeks that we were gone. I come in, it's still running. But then some people get in the radio station and all of a sudden they don't touch anything like, and it doesn't work. So I was a little stressed out about that.
Also, when I was sitting in the cafeteria at lunch today, like the swim announcements came, like the swim.
That was the longest. When he sent me that on email this morning, I was like,
No, but like I saw it on the screen and I was like, Weiler's becoming a freaking novelist.
yeah. I was like, really? This is the announcement?
But also I wasn't mad
I saw that one
because
little
he said my name was said,
green
so
board
it's
that Rolly has, and he attempts to go ultra instinct. He gets the hair for just a second, and then you see it fade out.
But we did do really well. I broke 4 records.
Yeah, I noticed.
We had a really good meet. But I know. I'm only 20 points off the diving.
Because Trump wants a $5 billion bill, and the Democrats don't want it.
5 billion? 17.
I heard about that. We could spend
Why have I heard about the government shutdown 17,000 times today?
I don't know. Because it didn't just happen today. I mean, it's been that for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Granted, did I just find out the other day? Yeah, because I don't pay that close of attention to what's happening. But I was talking to somebody who was in DC over break, and she said that trash cans were like overflowing and disgusting, and like national park bathrooms are shut down because they can't get rid of
Museums
water.
are shut down.
And like Mrs. Campbell knows people who work as national park rangers, and they're not getting paid.
Oh yeah, it's kind of crazy.
All because Trump's being needy and wants a steel wall that the Mexicans aren't going to pay for now.
It's literally like 4 punches.
I saw a meme and it was like 2016 Trump, the Mexicans are going to pay for the wall. 2017 Trump, give me your money so I can build a wall. I was like, just climb over the wall. It's not that hard. Oh, it's on this that the... Is she not in this car?